Do you have any idea how long it took me to write that Baskervilles story, Hurley? Oh, it sounds so exciting. The Hound of the Baskervilles. I should love to read it. Oh. Awkward. What's going on here? Why does it feel like an icy chill just swept through the room? Susie, what did you just say? You said the Hound of the Baskervilles. How could you know the full title? Oh, maybe from the telegram that she decided to fucking read this morning and not tell anyone about? That's because Mrs. Sato is such a great fan of all the stories about Mr. Sholmes, of course. But Bruno, the Hound of the Baskervilles, has never been published. What? When I showed Hurley the manuscript, he told me that I wasn't allowed to publish it yet. I don't understand. That's why I said that he said that he'd keep it safe. Until it was the right time for the story to be made public, you see. So that's why the manuscript is at Windibanks? And yet, how could Susie here know its title? Well, Hurley, what's going on? Ah. What is it, Mr. Sholmes? It would appear our guest has arrived. Oh. Okay, so just we dodge it. Okay. Hi, Gina. Miss Lestrade? This was a bad idea. I knew I weren't welcome. I'm going. No, wait, Miss Lestrade! We've all been eagerly awaiting your arrival. Haven't we, Iris? This is awkward. Oh yes, just wait there, Ginny. We'll have everything ready in a jiffy. Come along, Susie. Right, of course. It's a pleasure to see you here, Miss Lestrade. Please, make yourself at home. Don't stand in the doorway, my dear girl. Come along in. What say you to some Mendelssohn? I won't take no for an answer. Meddlesome it is, then. Kitty! It's so cute! That evening, Iris prepared us all a meal that was even more delicious than usual. Mr. Sholmes' violin performance was in no way meddlesome, and Gina, as we came to call her, taught us all how to steal things from one another without being noticed. Everyone thoroughly enjoyed themselves well into the night. Nighttime. That was a very enjoyable evening, wasn't it? Oh yes, Iris's cooking was truly divine. And I feel as though I can still hear the enchanting strains of Mr. Sholmes' violin even now. Best of all, I bet I could steal the glasses from his lordship's face next time we're in court. Naruhodo-san, could I consult with you about something, I wonder? What's the matter, Susato-san? It's about the telegram I received. The one that arrived first thing this morning, I suppose? I've been summoned. What? Summoned? What do you mean? The telegram was from the Lord Chief Justice's office. Lord Strongheart has asked to see me. Lord Chief Justice? When? Tomorrow morning. What? Then we have to start preparing at once. No, that won't be necessary, Naruhodo-san. I'd been summoned alone. Alone? What on earth for? I have no idea. I suppose I shall find out tomorrow. This is so sus. She's just the assistant. She goes with me. Like, we go together. Asking for just her is a little bit... What's all this about? Whatever it is, it's making me feel very uneasy. Who could that be, I wonder? Good evening, friends. Ah, Iris, hello again. And Gina, too. Yes, Ginny is gonna stay with us tonight. She's going to help. She's going to sleep in with me. Isn't that right, Ginny? Well, yeah. How lovely. Let me make a pot of tea. You know, I've learned so much today. Oh, what in particular? All those things Ginny showed us. Wasn't it wonderful? Oh, you mean all those pickpocketing techniques? We had fun trying them out on each other, didn't we? I think I've awakened a natural talent. I could earn a living from it. You might be getting ahead of yourself a little there. So what brings you up to our humble quarters at this late hour? Well, you see, I came to return this. Oh my god, who took it? Wait, what? That's mine! I told you, didn't I? I have a natural talent for it. Oh yeah, I'd forgotten. Iris is actually literally a child genius. So anyway, here, you can have it back. Not that I really understand why you wear it, though. Ah, thank you. All right then, good night. Yes, good night. So this is your office, is it? What do you think, Ginny? I think I wouldn't fancy me chances with a lawyer with a lawyer what lives in a place like this. Me too. Seems as though Iris here still has something she'd like to talk about. I suppose she probably wants to talk about the manuscript. I suppose she probably does. Awkward. I suppose you're hoping to talk about the manuscript, aren't you? Aren't you going to tell me? I'm so sorry. I need a little bit more time, please. You know what happens whenever characters say this? It means they die. She's gonna say, I need a little bit more time before I spill the beans, and then she's gonna go to Lord Stronghearts tomorrow morning, and then she's gonna fucking die, and then we'll never know. Anyway. Alright, I understand. I hope I haven't made you feel awkward. Oh, no, not at all, Iris, not at all. I don't know what all this is really about, but... It's a story you made up, is it, Iris? This manuscript or whatever you call it? It's not exactly a story that I made up. It's something I read in Daddy's diaries. Daddy's? That's right. I don't suppose I've mentioned it to you before, Ginny, but... My daddy was Hurley's assistant once, his partner. Eh? They solved all sorts of strange and mysterious cases together. Is that right, mister? Apparently so. I was as surprised as you are, though. And Daddy wrote all the details of every single case down, you see, in his diaries. So I study them and write my stories based on what actually happened. So, Where's the old man now, then? He had to go away on urgent business to a faraway land, and he'll be gone a very long time. So, I've never really met him. Oh my god. Oh, right. Come to think of it. I don't know anything about Gina's parents either. Maybe we should ask her. This is awkward. Iris, this Hound of the Baskervilles story. I take it that it's another tale inspired by your father's accounts? That's right. I thought it was fascinating. But it's different somehow from the other cases, I mean. How? I don't really know, but it must be special in some way. Because after I'd written it and I showed the manuscript to Hurley, he turned as white as a sheet. It was the first time I've ever seen him like that. Pains me to have to say this after you've toiled over it for so long, Iris. But this story must not be published at this time, under any circumstances. Why not? It's one of the best works! I'm not at liberty to say. Not now. So please, do not ask me. Alright then, I won't. But I do solemnly swear that I will explain everything one day, Iris, when the time is right. And that's how the manuscript came to be with Mr. Windibank, isn't it? Yes. Hurley said it had to be somewhere very safe. That really gets my goat, that does. He's treating you like a child. She's 10? She is a child? Wait. It's mean, that's what it is, keeping secrets like that. I'm sure Mr. Sholmes isn't trying to be mean. If he said he wasn't at liberty to talk about it, I'm sure there must be very good reason. You guys ready for a theory? So, we still do not know the motive behind Miss Giselle Brett's actions. Still unknown. I have a feeling that it's very relevant, though, to this whole story. But I think that it is very likely if Susato, in the very first court case, she came to the courtroom having research papers of Miss Giselle Brett's. Like, she went through her things to have the research papers and presented it to the court, which was, they were both English professors, right? So that also could be how she found out about the thing, the Hound, the whatever they call this, Baskervilles. Because if Wilson wrote in his diaries and Susato is clearly Snoopy, then maybe she's known about it since like the very beginning. If she went through the research papers of Miss Giselle Brett, who's to say that she also didn't go through Wilson's stuff as well, if he was keeping up diaries at the time. So this might not be something that's happened in the past 2 months, per se, that she got into the pawnbroker's place and saw that manuscript, but she saw the original diary that he wrote. And, I don't know, read it at the time? I don't know. But that would also imply that she knew who he was and that she, oh, this is, ooh. Wait, this is not sounding good. Talking out loud just put a lot of different points in my brain. Oh god. But yeah, that would also imply that she knew from the very start who John Wilson was. Could be very possible because, let me think about this. In the first case, she barely showed up at all. She was only there to present the research papers. That was her role in the entire first case. So there's nothing that says that she couldn't have known him and who he was at the time. So, just a thought. I think I trust Cisato in general. I just, how related is everything? Everything has to be related at this point. Miss Brett going to England. Wilson being summoned suddenly to go. Oh, sorry, not England. Sorry, Japan. Wilson being summoned suddenly to Japan. Could be the work of Strongheart. He is kind of, but why? Is this all to? So that would also explain why Sholmes would want to keep this story a secret, because that he probably just wants to protect people. Oh, wait. If this like Hound of the Baskerville thing is like the key point, this is so hard. God, I'm sorry, I have a lot of thoughts. This is so many tangents in one. This is a clusterfuck of thoughts. I'm so sorry. What if Mr. Strongheart knows about Cisato's knowledge and has summoned her to talk about the Hound of the Baskerville? Which could be very bad. I don't know. I'm assuming very bad. And Sholmes wants to keep it a secret because he knows that it's very, very high government related and that could cause death to people that know about the story. I don't know. I'm just throwing shit around. But this is like a case of it's best that people not know about the situation because it could put you in very big trouble kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? The assumption, the other thing that we don't know as of yet, I don't believe that they have mentioned, is whether Sholmes is aware of the passing. He seems to be aware, I think. Or, Iris doesn't know. I think Sholmes might know. He hasn't explicitly said or hinted it yet, though, unless I missed it. Which can happen. But, yes. I'm gonna leave my thoughts out there. And just, like, cut it off there. Everything is related, though. Mr. McGilded is also related to everything. Like, it's so weird. Kazuma was also related to everything. This is so weird. This is one giant case of clusterfuckery. And it's awful. Okay, anyway. Moving right along. I refuse to read chat whenever I have theories, so I'm sorry, because normally you guys are like, you're right, no, you're wrong. I don't trust him, sorry. I'll read chat later. You lot are too trusting for your own good. You can't pull the wool over my eyes. Sholmes is lying to Iris. I bet my life on it. What? Hurley's lying to me? But he's not very good at lying. Your parents. I've realized that I don't know anything about your parents, Gina. I ain't got any, have I? Never did have. Oh. Look, the East End's full of orphans like me. No one wants nothing to do with this. From the minute we're born, not even our mums. But we all stick together. The older ones look after the little ones and make sure they get by. So that's why you're a pickpocket. Nah, living's my life. I love it. I get a kick out of it every time I lift some pompous idiot's purse. Oh my god. And that's how we all can afford to eat. I'm like Robin Hood, aren't I? Ain't I? That's how I see it. Oh, Gina. I do think about it sometimes. Well, it'd be like to have parents, I mean. I always thought it'd make everything right. But having listened to what Iris just said, sounds like having parents ain't always easy either. Either. Oh. I mean, if you know you never had them, you don't feel like you're always wanting to meet them. It's true. I do want to see Daddy so much. Oh, Iris. This is bad news, man. Gina, what did you mean whenever you said that you know Mr. Sholmes is lying to Iris? He reckons he pulled that manuscript or whatever, right? But come on, that's obviously a load of rubbish. Oh my, why would you think that, Gina? It's simple. If that story was really in old Mr. Winterbank's storeroom, there's no way someone was from halfway around the world, in other words, you, could know about it. Ah. Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling ya. But Hurley would never do something like that, I'm sure of it. Grown-ups do a lot worse things than that, believe me. Barefaced liars, the lot of them. You just ain't realized it yet. I'm telling ya, that manuscript ain't out of Winterbank's. You'd soon see if you had a look. Even if you think you can trust him, I don't. That Sholmes is a liar like the rest of them. If I'm honest, I have wondered if Hurley's telling me the truth sometimes. See? Oh, but I don't mean that I think he sold it. I mean that I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong of me to doubt him. Don't be too hard on yourself, Iris. Oh my goodness! Look at the time! Come along, Jenny. We should go back downstairs. Yeah, alright. And please, don't mention any of this to Hurley, will you? No, of course not. Good night then, Iris. Good night, Gina. You must let me make breakfast for you tomorrow morning. I insist. Oh, yes, please. I can't wait, Susie. Good night, then. Iris, it sure is easy to forget, isn't it? Sometimes she speaks just like an adult. But deep down, she's still just a child. Well, I think it's time that I turned in for the night too, Naruhodo-san. Dr. John H. Wilson, Iris's father, but also the name of the murdered visiting professor at Yume University. It can't be a mere coincidence. There's something deeper going on. Mr. Naruto. Mr. Naruto? I'm assuming it's Herlock. That voice, that's Mr. Sholmes. Oh, it's still nighttime. What's going on? It's the middle of the night. It's Miss Lestrade. She's gone. Gina? She's supposed to be sleeping in Iris's room, but her bed is empty. Well, she's an independent young woman. She probably decided to go home, no? I think not. From speaking to her before she retired, I received the distinct impression that she was looking forward to breakfasting with Mr. Sado. No, I don't believe the girl has gone home. But I've been waiting for over an hour now. Over an hour? Oh. If you'll indulge me, look out of the window, my dear fellow. What's this about? Wait a minute, why is there a light on at this time of night? It's Mr. Windibank's pawnbrokery. Mr. Windibank's... oh no. It's simple. If that story was really in old Windibank's storeroom, there's no way someone from halfway around the world would, in other words, you, could know about it. Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you. Could Gina have gone... Did you have some knowledge of the situation, Mr. Naruto? Sorry, no, not really. Anyway, we must investigate. At once. Mrs. Otto! Uh-oh. This is 1:14 a.m., bitch. I should be sleeping. It's my bedtime. Oh my god. I cry. The door to Windibank's it's open. And the lamp is burning. It must be Gina. Mustn't it? Let us hope it's nothing more sinister. I have a feeling murder happened. I don't have a good feeling about this. There's not a moment to lose. Clearly something is afoot inside. Oh, blood on the... oh no, oh no! Oh, he's dead. Is Windibank dead? He pulled the sign down and there's blood on it. No! He does that at exactly midnight every night. Oh no. Oh no. There is. Mr. Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes! What the? Has Sholmes been shot? Leave me, Mr. Naruto. What? After them, go! What is happening? What is happening? I've lost them. The alarm was just raised from this pawnbroker, sir. Would you know something about that? Officer, come with me. It's my friend, Mr. Sholmes. He's been shot. Shot. With the policeman close behind me, I ran back to Windibank's. Is he okay? Oh my god, please. I'd be simping so hard. I can't deal with him dying. No. Oh my god, I will actually cry.
Mr. Sholmes!
Mr. Naruto.
Oh, he's okay. Okay, he's definitely okay. He's not okay, but he's alive.
Never mind me, but there's much at stake. Behind that door. In the storeroom. Hurry!
Oh my god, my heart. I'm not gonna make it through the night. Okay, I see a bullet hole in the back of his chest and Gina. Oh my!
It's Gina!
Oh my god, what happened? And there were two shadowy figures in this room. There were two. So two people, and that guy's dead, and Gina's like unconscious, and Sholmes got shot. What is happening? Oh my god! Ah! Ah! Oh my god! So much just happened. Oh my god. I'll be alright, Mr. Naruto. After them, go! Behind that door in the storeroom. Hurry. Oh, the gun's in her hand, so it makes her look like she did it. Oh, poor girl, she did not. I doubt it. Oh, Jesus. Is she dead, though? Is she dead? What's happening? From that moment, Windibank's pawnbrokery became a crime scene. Everything that followed happened in a whirlwind of activity. The arrival of the police, the preliminary investigation of the scene, and the questioning. Oh my god. It was just before dawn, before I was allowed back to my lodgings at 221B. Oh my god. So... oh god. Oh god. Oh, and now it's 6:21 a.m. Okay, so 5 hours after. Holy shit. Oh, Iris. My heart. I thought for a second that Mr. Sholmes died and I was about to quit playing the game because I don't want to play a game without him. Oh my god. I can't. Oh my god. I can't play the game without Sholmes, man. I was about to quit. I was so ready, man. I was just... oh god. Okay. Phew. Oh. A telegram came, but all it said was wait at home. Yeah, we asked one of the policemen to have it sent. It was simply impossible to come back. But when I woke up, I was all alone. Hurley and Ginny were gone. Everyone was gone. What happened, Bruno? Poor Iris, she's trembling. She's obviously trying very hard not to let herself get too worried. I'll explain everything that I know. Something awful has happened, hasn't it? Yes, I'm afraid so. Oh my god. I'm gonna fucking cry. Okay, the events at Windibank's. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, Iris, but Mr. Windibank is dead. He was shot. We discovered it in the early hours of the morning. Yes, I had a feeling. You did? When I saw those police carriages pulling up outside his shop. So I knew something must have happened there. When we entered Mr. Windibank's in the small hours, we disturbed a gang or two. What did- wait, specifically, what were those words? Disturbed a gang of 2 thugs. They ran out onto the street and I chased after them, but they got away. It was one of them who shot old Mr. Windibank, I suppose. I don't know, but that's not what the police believe at the moment. They've arrested someone else as their prime suspect. Oh no, don't say Gina. No! Jenny, but why? The thing is... oh god, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Jenny wouldn't do something like that. I know, none of us think she did it. Why did they arrest her? I'm sorry, there was nothing I could do. Oh, Jesus. I don't understand why they arrested Ginny. It's not fair. What about the two thugs that were at the scene? Why aren't they the prime suspects? After all, they shot Hurley dead, didn't they? Oh my god, he's not dead. No. I mean, Mr. Sholmes isn't dead, Iris. Oh god. This is horrible. The thing is, Mr. Windibank was found on the floor in the storeroom where he keeps all the deposited articles. And the storeroom door was locked from the inside. Oh god. I see. But he wasn't alone in there. Gina was found next to him on the floor as well. That's why they arrested Gina. It was locked from the inside. No. According to the detectives who investigated afterward. Don't tell me there was no one else in the room. Exactly. How did you know? It's the only explanation. The only explanation, indeed. What do you mean by that, Bruno? Well, what can I say? I'm damned if I agree, damned if I don't. Oh my god. I think that we should figure out where exactly the key is, because they said that the key to the storeroom was always on Windibank's in the pocket. And a long time ago, hours ago, Herlock Sholmes said that he had the key on his being. And then whenever he was gone, it was under some pillow. And maybe it was pickpocketed. So there's another pickpocket that took it from his pocket and they locked it. Maybe if we can confirm that the key is on his being, that would help. Because if the key's not there, that would mean somebody took it and locked it from the outside. So it made it seem like it was locked from the inside. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. I'm desperate. Where's the key? Where's the key? Where's the key? Where's Susie, Bruno? She's still at the police station. I expect she's still being questioned. The police said that they wouldn't be finished for a while. Why aren't you there then? I didn't get a good look at the criminals anyway. They weren't questioning me for long. Mrs. Sato stayed behind at the scene to tend to Mr. Sholmes, so they didn't get started until later. I see. Besides, one of us had to come back to be with Iris. I'm glad Inspector Gregson agreed to me leaving early. You should have let me know and I would have come to the station. I didn't realize how far I had sunk into my chair. Oh god, okay. Where's Hurley then? Is he still there investigating the scene? He really ought to have some breakfast. It's not good for him to miss meals. I don't want you to worry, Iris, but I have some news about Mr. Sholmes. Oh my god, please tell me he's okay. He was taken to hospital this morning. When we entered Windibank's, a gun was fired and he took a bullet. Hurley was shot? No. It's alright, his life isn't in danger. Really? Are you sure? Where is he? Which hospital? He's at St. Sinners. They're tending to him there. I must see him at once. I'm sorry, Iris, but you can't. Why not? That's not fair. I'm a family member. I should be allowed. No, I mean, nobody can see him at the moment. He's not allowed any visitors. They're preparing to operate, you see. Operate? Oh, Hurley. Injured Sholmes. It was the two thugs who were in Mr. Windibank's shop. They shot Mr. Sholmes when we disturbed them, you see? It was pitch black inside the shop at the time. My mind went totally blank, I'm afraid. I just froze. After them, go! After that, I ran out into the street, but... oh, well, they were long gone, and I shouldn't have hesitated. I'm so sorry. It's my fault. I let them get away. I think that's a very good thing. Sorry? If you'd seen which way they went and chased after them, you might have been shot as well, Bruno. on top of everything else. I couldn't bear that. Iris. Oh my god, this child. I'm afraid I'll need to go out again now, Iris. There's not much I can do at the moment, but I can at least try to find out how Mr. Sholmes and Gina are getting on. I want to go too. Take me with you. I can't stand just sitting around here waiting. I'm not sure how I feel about taking a 10-year-old child to the scene of a murder. I don't want to leave her all alone here either. All right then, Iris. Perhaps you can help me? Oh yes, I'd love to. Gina's at the prison and Mr. Sholmes is probably in his hospital bed. And don't forget, we have to visit the crime scene. We need to conduct a thorough investigation. I can see you're ready for action. I imagine Iris would appreciate going to the hospital sooner rather than later. Sholmes. I hate this. Oh, Sasato's gone. Maybe I can take a look at this now. This looks like a telegram. It is, but you mustn't open it under any circumstances. All right, I won't. Now then, let's see. What did I just say? You mustn't open it. Don't worry, I won't. With this special concoction I've developed, I'll be able to see through the envelope without having to open it. I'm sure it's something important. Little geniuses sure can be mischievous. The prawns were doing rather well in the anemones too. Apparently, tanks like those were very popular in London before I was born. Oh, you mean they're not anymore? I think people discovered it was too much effort to clean them out and change the water all the time. I can believe that. Prawns and anemones are fun for a while. I kind of wanted to see what Iris says about stuff, so. I've never seen Mrs. Sato's room. I haven't so much as put her head around the door. Oh, Susie often invites me up. It's so much fun. Really? What's her room like? I can't tell you that. Oh. A young maiden's private chamber is a place of bittersweet secrets, you know? Where have I heard that before? We've only been in London for about 2 months, but my desk is starting to look a little messy already. Hurley's desk is far worse, you know? I'm sure if I try hard enough, I can make my desk as messy as Mr. Sholmes. I wonder. You don't think I can... Well, it takes a certain genius to reach that level of disorder, you know? The path to true mess is long and arduous, it seems. Okay. Oh! How about some tea, Bruno? Thanks, Iris, but I'm all right for now. With the green tea Sasato makes me from time to time, Iris's unique herbal infusions, this place is paradise for a true tea lover. If you're sure, you know I always have plenty whenever you're feeling thirsty. Okay, I'm just gonna go. So we can go to the prison to see Gina. We can go to the hospital to see Sholmes. Wait. We can't see him though, apparently. Well, you know how I live my life. We save the best for last. We'll go see Gina first. Hello, Gina. She's in a jail cell. Why is she allowed this? She just still has her gun. Okay. Oh, so you still have the grenade launcher Hurley and I made. I wish she wouldn't point it at me all the time, though. What are you here for? Ginny, I have a feeling it's because of us that you've ended up in trouble. So we were thinking that we might be able to help you.
Well, you can't.
Sorry?
You won't. Get lost. Don't be like that, Ginny. You know you didn't do it. I know you didn't do it. You'd never shoot someone. I just know you wouldn't. You think you know me? Pull the other one.
Oh.
You ain't got the first idea about the likes of me. I'm a thief. I pinch people's purses when they're walking down the street. That's how I get by. And if I saw me chance, I'd sneak into a pawn shop any day of the week. Just to see what I could lay my hands on. Get it? That's the kind of person I am.
But Ginny...
I'll be in court tomorrow, they said. Some cover came by before and said that he'd be a lawyer for me or the like. Said it wasn't right or something. But I told him to get stuffed. I don't need no lawyer. Don't need no one.
She couldn't be staring at me any more obviously if she tried.
Why are you like this, Ginny?
Legal representation. I don't understand, Gina. Why did you send the public defender away?
He wanted me to sign some papers, representation papers or something like that. It's all gonna be rigged anyway, the whole trial. They'll pin it on me because I'm a kid. That's what grown-ups always do. Why do you think that? Because that's how it always has been for me growing up in the back slums my whole life. If you do what grown-ups tell you, it'll get your mates dragged off by the coppers or worse. I've had it happen to me It happened to me before and all. Been sold out and nearly snaffled at the back of it. You can't trust no one, that's the point. As soon as you do, you're going to grass.
Gina, listen. If you like, in tomorrow's trial, I could forget.
Ginny! Don't you trust Runo? Nah, I don't. Look, I'll ask you nicely now. Just leave me alone.
Okay, even though... Okay, she's like so son. Will you tell us what happened, Gina? Last night at the pawnbrokers.
There's nothing to tell. I figured it'd pay me. So I broke into the place and started going through the storeroom. But the old bloke walked in on me and you know the rest. Why, Ginny? Why would you do that? Ain't it obvious? The place is full of stuff I could sell for a shilling or two. Diving ain't easy, you know. It's a lot of work and half the time you don't even get nothing.
Is that really why you broke into the place?
What?
Are you sure the true reason wasn't something else?
Give it a rest. Wouldn't be the point anyway, eh? Nothing I can say would make a blind bit of difference. Please tell us, Ginny. We believe you, whatever it is. Believe me? Don't be daft. You can't believe nothing. Everyone lies all the time. And you know what? When it comes to liars, I'm the biggest soul of the lot. I've told some unforgivable lies, I have.
What do you mean by that? What unforgivable lies?
What?
What do you mean? But what did you mean before, Gina, when you said that you were the biggest liar of the lot? Why don't you tell us what these unforgivable lies you've told are? Maybe we can help.
Sorry. We're out of time. They're gonna want to question me now. Ginny, please. Oh, yeah. I wanted to give you this. Something to remember me by. Oh, the kitty picture! Yay! Oh, that's like the greatest gift. I wanted that in the pawnbroker shop. The kitty picture in the front of the snowman. It was so cute. Oh my god, we got it! Okay, thank you.
You can get arrested now. It's fine.
Oh!
A photographic print of a really adorable cat! So cute!
I found it in one of the pockets of this coat. Ain't no point in me having it.
Wait, she found it in the pocket of the coat? It was on the counter.
I wonder what a little photograph like that was doing in a pocket of that overcoat. Anyway, don't bother coming again. Bye. Ginny.
How did the photograph get in the pocket of her coat? I know what I saw. That was on the counter. It was on the counter. It was not in her coat. Someone put it there. Look on the back of the print here. There's something written on it. 13th February, 9 p.m. Article deposited, 1 small box. Loan amount paid, 10 shillings. Redemption deadline, 13th of April, 9 p.m. So this photographic print is a redemption ticket.
13th of February? That could be significant. It was just 2 days before the murder on the omnibus, wasn't it?
A small box. That doesn't tell us much about it, does it?
Bruno, if Mr. McGilded still had the ticket, then presumably he never redeemed the article.
Do you think the box might still be present somewhere in the shop? If it's something Mr. McGilded deposited, we need to investigate. You know what I think? I think that the small box that was deposited by Mr. McGilded was a music box. The same one that we need to put our disc into. That's what I think. Still doesn't explain why it was in her fucking coat pocket. Oh, wait, no, it would make sense because the discs were also in the coat pocket. So if the coat had the discs and... Ah. But the photograph it wasn't put in the pocket until after the 15th. It didn't get there until after the 15th, so if it was the 13th, then... Very confused. Oh, was it a stage? Like the person that's framing Gina put it in her pocket on purpose to make it seem like she was trying to find some small ball? I don't know. That'd be weird. Why? Oh, it's weird. Brain explode. I'm gonna need that whiteboard, man. I didn't realize all these cases were related to each other, and now I'm like, next game, I'm getting that fucking whiteboard.
Hurley! He's not here!
No, that's strange. The nurse definitely said that he was in the bed by the window, didn't she?
Oh, I know what probably happened. Hurley was being a big baby and the bullet wound wasn't that bad after all, so he's been sent home.
I'm not so sure about that, baby or not. There's no question that it was a fairly serious injury that Mr. Sholmes suffered.
Oh.
Hello, hello, what have we got here? The ward is off limits, no visiting. So, what are you doing in here, eh?
Well, I'll have you know. We're Hurley's next of kin.
I have so many thoughts. Oh my god. I definitely need a whiteboard, man. My thoughts be swimming. There's like the Bobby is also related to the case in some way. They keep pointing out the bailiffs and the Bobbies. The day of Mr. McGilded's trial, they made a specific point that one of the bailiffs was the one that called the post-trial, I don't know what you call it, investigation of the wagon. So I'm wondering how much is actually going on, if it's actually within the police too, and that also makes me question. That also makes me question Mr. Gregson as well. Okay, I'm just a lot of thoughts. Oof. I got a lot of them, man. And you know what I also keep thinking that's gonna happen? You take off the helmet of one of the Bobbies, and it's Inspector Hosonaga. One of them is. I swear to fucking God, one of these guys is. There's so many of them in this game, I don't know if they're all the same person, but I swear to God, you're gonna take off the helmet and rip off the statue, and it's gonna be like, it was me, Inspector Hosonaga, this whole time. Just like my fucking theory at the beginning of the game. See? It's all coming together. Hurrah! Okay, anyway. Begging your pardon there, ma'am, sir. Little lady and a curious Eastern gentleman. The great mystery solver is a mysterious family, eh? If that's how you see us, sure.
Where is he, Constable? Where's Hurley?
I believe he's currently in the operating theater, ma'am, undergoing an extensive operation.
Extensive?
It's been several hours since he went in.
Oh dear, is he gonna be alright?
Well, it doesn't appear to be working, you see. The anesthetic, that is. I've heard a report that the gentleman claims it may have had a little too much to drink last night. Coffee, that is. Anyway, I think it would be fair to assume that he won't be back here for several hours yet. I see. Thank you, Constable. Perhaps we should leave and come back later. I do think it was Hosonaga. Okay, there is very, very, very... Okay, this is a very, very small detail to point out. But I noticed in the third trial, whenever they had the specific camera angles that showed the two bailiffs at the door, one of them had a mustache and one of them did not. So my theory from that moment on was that one of those bailiffs was actually Hosonaga, the one without the mustache, because there was one without. I think... I never said it then, but I do think that at the time, that specific bailiff was sus, and I think it's Inspector Hosonaga. Okay. Yeah. Because you can't see anything. Like, it doesn't show the eyes. It doesn't even show their hair. So you could just easily Anyway, I'm just, it's definitely a disguise of some sort, I think. Just a little sus. There's a notice board on the wall here. Look, let's see. What does it say? Thought of the day. On seeing any vermin, calmly and discreetly inform matron.
Oh yes, they have rats and mice in hospitals like this that love to feast on all the medicine. If you don't deal with them, there's nothing left to treat the patients.
Rats and mice? Oh, I see. This is a rather old building, I suppose.
But the doctors and nurses are all very good, I hear.
Certainly hope so, for Mr. Sholmes' sake. There's really nothing else to look at in this room besides the bed. Okay. This must be Mr. Sholmes' bed.
Poor Hurley.
I know, it looks as stiff as a board, doesn't it?
I don't know that will bother him.
No?
I often find him asleep face down on the floor, completely dead to the world.
Oh. I think I'd call the police if I discovered someone like that. Wow, this place is so fucking old. Oh god, wait, I gotta check on the air conditioner. What am I doing? Sorry! I wonder what these are. Do you have any idea, Iris?
Oh, haven't you ever seen crutches before? Let me explain. They're for people with leg injuries to help them walk. You hold one under each arm, you see?
Oh, right. I thought that they were weapons of some sort.
Why would there be weapons in a hospital?
I thought maybe a fighter had been injured in a battle contest and been brought here along with his weapons. Ryunosuke! That's surprisingly plausible. Oh, okay, Ryunosuke. Now what do we do? Go back to the pawnbrokery. We were supposed to look at the crime scene. Wait, the picture is still on the counter. Huh? There's two. That's right, the two thugs I told you about were obviously ransacking the place looking for valuables.
Apart from this policeman here, I wouldn't know anything had happened. There's no sign of a disturbance.
No, you're right about that, actually.
In fact, if anyone, it's the police who seem to be the ones doing the ransacking.
I know what you mean. They're like a gang of organized criminals all dressed in black. Oi, I heard that! Oh, hi. Inspector, good morning. I suppose I ought to thank you for your vigilance last night. We got to the scene before it was disturbed, at least. Shame you let the two rogues get away, mind. I tried, bitch. Sorry about that.
I want you to assign extra men to the beat around here, Gregsy. Now look what happened. Hurley's been injured because there weren't enough police on duty.
Your ladyship, no one told me you were coming! Oh, I forgot that they had a weird relationship. Kinda forgot about that.
I expect you to take full responsibility for what happened to Hurley and see that he has the very best medical care.
Of course, your ladyship. The very best doctors in the capital are tending him as we speak.
I don't think it's Runo's fault that the rogues managed to get away, is it? Chasing criminals is the police's job.
Absolutely, your ladyship, as you say, ma'am, as you say. The gent in black is totally blameless. Everyone's in agreement of that. Would you believe it? He's like a completely different person with Iris. Talk about a personality change. Where are my manners? Are you thirsty, your ladyship? Perhaps you'd like some juice? Some nice, refreshing fruit juice?
Oh, why? Are you thirsty, Gregsy? I have some of my special herbal tea with me if you'd like some.
Lovely. Very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship. I don't even recognize them like this. How's the investigation going, Inspector? Nothing to it, really. Very simple case, this is. There's some very definitive evidence. We're just about to charge that driver we arrested last night, in fact. Gina? You're going to charge her? That's right. Should be able to bring her before the judge at the Bailey tomorrow.
Definitive evidence, you say? What is it? Come on, show me.
Your ladyship, as much as I could oblige you, I'm afraid.
I see. You've already captured the pair of thugs who broke in here last night, have you?
What the?
And you're going to put them on the stand as witnesses, are you?
How could you? How? How could you possibly know that?
I had a feeling, that's all.
Remind me to never try to keep a secret from Iris. So you've arrested the two men who shot Mr. Holmes, have you? Well, yes, they were rounded up pretty quickly by the lads on the beat. And Miss Lestrade is being held at the prison? She should be. That's assuming she hasn't lifted the key from the jailer, of course. At least he knows. Can you tell us anything about Mr. Sholmes? What's his condition? Sorry, I'm not at liberty to divulge that information. Scotland Yard matters are strictly confidential.
Well, I know that he's being operated on at St. Sinner's. Why can't I see him? I'm family, you know.
I'm terribly sorry, your ladyship. It's the hospital's policy. No visiting at all. The bullet must have hit an artery in its midriff. He's lost a fair bit of blood.
Oh no.
He didn't seem too bad in the first hour or so. But a hemorrhage, oh god, like that is enough to make even the one and only Sholmes pipe down. Mr. Sholmes is a human like the rest of us, you know. Anyway, he's having an emergency surgery right now. They've got to stop that bleeding.
He will be alright, won't he? They'll be able to make him better.
Of course, your ladyship, he'll be right as rain before you know it.
Really? How do you know?
How do I know? Because, of course, yes. Because Mr. Sholmes is such a great detective, that's why. We better pray the doctors have a better grasp at what's needed to make someone well again.
Oh dear, please don't die, Hurley.
I'll report to your ladyship the moment I hear he's out of the operating theatre. I couldn't help noticing, Inspector... Out with it, sunshine. There seems to be a marked difference between the way you talk to me and Iris. What the sauce, Sonny? I'm a copper, and we don't go in for favoritism.
But he's right. You do treat us differently.
It's because of those adventures of Sherlock Holmes stories, that's why.
Oh.
I crop them up. I crop up in them, don't I, Inspector Tobias Gregson?
Well, yeah. Because you're an acquaintance of Hurley's.
What did you write about the Inspector, Iris?
I don't remember, really.
It's one of Sholmes's lines. Gregson is the smartest of the Scotland Yarders, is how he put it.
Did I write that?
And you know what that one line did for me, eh? That very next month, my pay doubled. Doubled, I tell you. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, because everyone at the yard reads them. They read all the Sherlock Holmes stories. They've even set up a fan club for me.
Of course, that explains everything. It was around that time that you became such a toady to me.
Can you blame me? All it'd take is one bad word from you and Sholmes could change his tune about me. Gregson, no, the great detective will say, he's getting quite overrated these days. Think what would happen to my salary if this came out in print, eh? The whole thing gives me the willies. I can't tell you how many nights of sleep I've lost to worrying about it.
But that would never happen, Gregsy.
Every month when the new Rance magazine comes out, my hands are trembling as I turn the pages.
Oh, how awful for you. Here, have some of my tea to settle your nerves.
Lovely. Very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship. Teetotal. Oh yeah, there's something I was supposed to talk to you about, actually, Mr. Naruto. I've got an important message for you. I clean forgot about it until now. An important message. I wonder what it could mean. It's about that young lady who's normally by your side, your assistant.
Dear Susie, is she all right?
She's at the station, isn't she being questioned? Not anymore. She has to head off. Head off where? To Lord Strongheart's office, of course. He summoned her. Ah, yeah, of course. I'd forgotten about that. One of the whipstocks took her there in a yard carriage after we'd finished questioning her. But she asked us to tell you that she didn't have the fare for the journey and to go and meet her there. She's got a nerve using Scotland Yard as a bloomin' messaging service. Ah, well, thank you for passing that on, Inspector.
Why did Susie have to go see the Lord Chief Justice?
She didn't tell me. But I'd better head off over to the Lord Chief Justice's office to fetch her straight away. The police are scouring every inch of this place by the look of it. Instructions from the from the yard are to examine every article in the shop and every ledger book of accounts. Every article? But that's a ridiculous amount of work, surely. We've been hard at it ever since the shop was declared a crime scene in the early hours. We're sifting through it at all shifts at least, but still. We'd be working through the night, that's for sure. And even then, we barely have scratched the surface. A crime in a pawnbroker's. It must be every policeman's worst nightmare. It's every copper's worst nightmare, you know? A crime in a pawnbroker's. Oh god, there he goes.
All right then, let's see what we can uncover.
What do you think you're doing, Sunshine? You can't touch everything in here. But we were hoping to investigate. This is a crime scene, for Pete's sake. No touching.
What's the problem, Gregsy? Bruno's a lawyer, you know?
I'm ever so sorry, your ladyship. Ever so sorry. The rules and regulations are a thorn in my side. Of course, if Mr. Naruto was to have been properly appointed by the accused, it'd be another matter. If you could show me some representation papers, I'd be only too happy to let you nose around.
Did you hear that, Bruno? You need Ginny to sign some representation papers.
It looks like presenting the detective here with the correct paperwork is the only way. Oh, wait a second. Wait, this was here before Herlock was shot. This is the first thing I noticed, and there's a clear bullet wound. Not wound, but like there's a bullet hole. So like there's a bullet here. Okay. This was here before, so like we can't say that this is like the bullet from whenever they shot Herlock and it like went on the wall and there was blood on the wall. That's Herlock's blood, but like no, this is something different entirely. Oh boy. There is so much going on. This is bullshit! No matter how many times I come here, I always get the same sense of oppressiveness somehow.
Do you think the place is oppressive? I think it's normal.
How so?
I mean, look at that suit of armor over there. You can't take that seriously, can you?
Maybe it thinks it's the same. Maybe it thinks the same about you. Everything is clear with regard to tomorrow's arrangements, I trust. Thank you very much. There they are, Sasada-san and Lord Strongheart.
I wonder what they're talking about. They both look very serious.
Very good. There is nothing further to discuss. You may return to your lodgings. No doubt you have much to do in preparation for your return to your homeland. Tomorrow, wow. What did he just say? Your return to your homeland. Man, they caught up. Oh, man. I was wondering if this was gonna happen, because in all these cases, we wouldn't have been able to win the cases without Susato and her stupid book. So they're getting mad that I'm winning all these cases, and they're like, well, Susato gotta go, and then I'll be failing all these cases now without Susato as my right-hand person. Well, I guess we're gonna be dumb masses now. Oh, Mr. Naruto! What was all that about? Ah, Mr. Naruto. Thank you for coming to collect your colleague. What's this about? Why were you talking about Mrs. Sato's return to her homeland? And tomorrow?
Tomorrow? What about Ginny's trial?
You mean... she's been formally charged now? Oh dear. Uh-oh. Mrs. Sato, what's all this about?
Oh, please don't concern yourself, Mr. Naruto. It's only me going back to Japan. Your life here can continue just as it has.
That's not what I asked! What happened? Why are you leaving? It's my father. He's fallen ill. Professor Mikatoba. He said at the beginning that he also was friends, or he knew Wilson well. Scary thought. You must be the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yeah, that's right. My name is Eugene Mikitoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. We received an international telegram from the Empire of Japan informing us of the news. 10 days ago, Father collapsed with a fever. The cause is apparently unknown. And it seems he grows weaker day by day. I don't believe it. As you are aware, the voyage was from here to your country's capital, Tokyo. Takes some 50 days. I thought it would be prudent to hasten Mr. Sato's departure as much as possible. I will leave London first thing tomorrow morning. I can't believe this is happening. Gina's charged. She will appear in court. Yeah, she was formally charged a few hours ago, and the date of the trial has already been set for tomorrow. No, not even 24 hours later? Gina. The Lestrade girl in the murder of Baker Street pawnbroker, yes? An all too conspicuous case. The pickpocket was clearly disturbed mid-robbery and shot the man in panic. No, the yard is overstretched as it is, without wasting time on these open and shut cases.
It's not wasting time. Ginny would never do something like that.
Mr. Naruhodo. Lord Strongheart, yeah? In deference of your fine services to date, I shall overlook this young girl's insolence. But I have no recollection of admitting a child into my office. Leave now. Of course, Lord Strongheart. Criminals will tell the most palpable lies in order to evade justice. The police can ill afford the time it takes to unravel all their untruths. Meanwhile, more crimes are perpetrated. We have far more serious matters with which to contend. Serious matters? Didn't Gregson mention something like that yesterday? Inspector Gregson made a similar remark yesterday. No concern of yours. Though I'm sure I need not remind you of that. "3 minutes precisely until my next meeting. You must excuse me." There's just one more thing, Lord Strongheart. Which is? Miss Lestrade's trial. I wonder if you might permit me to defend her? Timely suggestion. Sorry? The girl currently has no representation.
That's not fair. She may be a pickpocket, but she still deserves a fair trial.
Do not misunderstand me, young lady. The government provides for those too poor to afford representation with a public defender. The accused need only sign the relevant paperwork, and defense barrister will be assigned to the case. However, the young girl in question has refused that right. Why would she do that? A question you would do well to direct at Miss Lestrade. You'll find her at the local prison. Yes, thank you. Now then, it's time I was leaving. Good day to you. What a day. Gina charged with murder. Susato-san about to leave. Sholmes is shot. Come, Mr. Naruhodo, Iris, we must make haste.
But Susie, you're leaving for Japan tomorrow morning, aren't you? Don't you have packing and things to do?
As Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, my personal circumstances are of no consequence. My sole purpose remains to help you in whatever way I can. Thank you, Mrs. Sato. That's a very pensive look.
I think we ought to visit Gina first.
In any case, I should like to wish her well before I leave.
That sounds like a good idea. Let's go.
If I'm honest, this has completely thrown me off. I'll just have to do with what I can as a lawyer. I miss Sholmes. I'm gonna cry. Hello again, Gina.
What you lot here for now?
To have the muzzle of that grade launcher shoved in your faces yet again, obviously.
I think I need to improve the way you load ammunition into that thing, don't I? Look. You can come as many times as you like, but I ain't got nothing more to say to you.
Gina, I wonder if you might hear me out. There's something I'd like to say.
What?
I'm sorry to say that I must reluctantly bid you farewell.
Farewell?
Tomorrow I must begin my journey back home to Japan. I fear we may never meet again.
Oh, right.
I've had the pleasure of meeting so many lovely people here in London. I have so many wonderful memories. And yet, as things stand now, it will be a glum parting indeed. Poor Iris is so miserable.
Susie. Well, that ain't my business.
Both Iris and Mr. Naruto believe you to be innocent, Gina. They've put their faith in you. But somehow you can't find it in your heart to put your faith in them.
Yeah, that's right. I can't. What of it?
It grieves me greatly to have to say this, to say goodbye to my friends, when they are so clearly unhappy. Because of you.
What? It's my fault!
Yes, so I have one final request, Gina. Before our paths never cross again. Right here and now. I want you to show both of them that you don't deserve the faith that they've invested in you. Only by doing that, will you truly be as alone as you claim to be.
What are you talking about? What do you expect me to do, eh?
You've told us that everyone lies. So prove it by admitting one of your own untruths.
What about what you said before, Ginny? You said something about unforgivable lies.
You must tell Mr. Naruto and Iris the truth now. That is my last request before I leave. My last request as a judicial assistant.
No, I can't.
Whatever these lies are, they're obviously weighing very heavily on Gina's mind. Gina, I could be wrong, but is it something to do with what happened 2 months ago? Something about that trial? The one in which Magnus McGilded was acquitted? Acquitted? The case of that mysterious murder that took place inside that omnibus? You were called as a witness by the prosecution. Is that what this is about?
Yeah, you're right. Because in that trial, I lied. I lied like you wouldn't believe.
Will you tell us about it now? Oh boy. Struggling. The trial 2 months ago.
like you said, it all happened 2 months ago. The coppers got hold of me and shoved me in the witness stand.
And based on your testimony, Mr. McGilded was declared innocent.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I lied about a whole bunch of stuff.
I knew it. What sort of thing did you lie about?
I was hiding under the seat that night. That was the truth.
Did she get paid a lot of money to say lies by Mr. McGilded? I have a feeling that this is about, yeah, I don't know.
It was pitch black in that little cubbyhole. I couldn't see a thing, and then... I heard that loud thud, like someone falling on the floor.
And that's when Mr. McGilded discovered you?
Yeah. He pulled me out from under the seat and sat me next to the dead man. There weren't much light to see by, but I looked at me hands, and I had the cub's blood all over them. I was so scared I couldn't even speak.
You had his blood on your hands? In other words, it was Gina that the witnesses on the roof deck saw through the skylight. We already determined that. Then Mr. McGilded started asking you questions, I suppose? Who you were and why you were hiding under the seat?
Yeah, he did. Only that's not all.
What do you mean?
I mean, he threatened me.
Threatened you how?
He made me swear about what I'd seen, what I heard. And about what he was gonna do after the cove was found dead. He made me swear I wouldn't tell anyone about it. If I did that, he said he'd let me scrape her before the coppers showed up.
Gina, you must tell me what he swore you to secrecy about. What you saw, what you heard, everything. Woo! Juicy shit, let's go! You said Mr. McGilded made you swear not to tell anybody what you saw. But you were in the pitch black compartment under the seat the whole time, weren't you? Yes, with Mr. McGilded sitting above your head, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's true, but it was when I heard the thud of the cove in the floor. I let out a little scream, see? Couldn't help it. Mr. McGilded heard that and dragged me out by my arm, and that's when I saw it. It was on the floor next to the old geezer where I'd been stabbed. A disc. All bright and shiny.
A disc?
Do you mean... Yeah, that's it. The one what the deed took off me at Windibanks.
So the music box disc was there on the floor of the omnibus?
Not for long, Mr. McGilded spotted it right away. Picked it up smartish and stuffed it inside his pocket.
So that disc was in the omnibus 2 months ago at the scene of Mr. Mason's murder.
And the bog trotter told me I weren't to mutter a word of it to no one.
Interesting.
Because it was so dark under the seat in the cab. I was straining my ears the whole time. After a while, I heard the door and footsteps inside the cabin.
Presumably that was Mr. McGilded getting on board.
Nah, not only him.
Oh,
because I could definitely make out the footsteps of 2 people.
In that case, it would seem likely that it was Mr. McGilded and the victim. Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. In his testimony during the trial, Mr. McGilded claimed that he slept during the carriage ride.
Whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it.
And your own testimony, Gina, supported this.
All I could hear was the Irishman snoring.
They weren't exactly true. Neither of them was asleep. I could hear him talking the whole time in low voices. What were they talking about? Sorry, I don't know. The sound of the horses and the wheels was too loud. That still tells us something. Mr. McGilded and the victim knew each other. So Mr. McGilded was lying as I suspected. This is, I'm like so, I feel so winded. I'm exhausted. There is so much happening. Whew. I knew it weren't gonna take long before someone raised the alarm that the bloke had been killed. You were quite right. The other passengers on the roof deck noticed very quickly. And when the cab came to a stop, Mr. McGilded told him to hide back under the seat again. I climbed in and waited. The two coves from up top gave off to get their coppers. I just bit my tongue again. Fucking hell. Ow. Everything hurts so much. Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First. Right, and after they gone, McGilded asked the driver to do him a favor. I can't. Now then, fella, what I need you to do is take this coat of mine and deposit it with a nearby pawnbroker. And for your troubles, let's see now. Aye, I'll give you 10 guineas. A nearby pawnbroker? You mean on Baker Street? Yep, you got it. It was Windibank's. The coachie snapped up the money and ran off to pop this coat as fast as he could. So then there was no one left in the carriage. McGilded opened... Oh god, I can't even do her anymore. Oh no. There was no one left in the carriage. McGilded opened the box under the seat. And let me get out of there. Oh, I'm done. I'm broken. My voice is broken. My tongue is broken. Everything sucks. But not without conditions. I see. McGilded's conditions. What were McGilded's conditions then? For letting you go free, I mean. Not telling a soul, not for anything, about what I saw or what I heard. There was something else as well. There's more? Yeah. This is the most important thing he said. I'm after sending the coachman on a little errand for me, with some small change in his hand. Now then, did you hear what I asked of him? Did you see anything at all? You asked him to go pop your weasel, right? Aye, the fiend's taking me overcoat to deposit what a pawnbroker hereabouts. And I want you, lass, to take the redemption ticket for it. Do you understand? What? You want me to have the ticket? That's right, and I'll come fetch it for you later. Sometime within the next 2 months. You're to hang on it until then. Is that clear? And whatever you do, don't lose it. All right, then. And in case I might happen to be delayed at all, you're to go to the pawn shop, Windibank, so it is, and you to extend the loan before the 2 months is up. If you forget, the article will be forfeited, and any old fiend can come along and buy it. But I ain't got that kind of brass. It's £5. That should be enough. So we understand each other, lass. Don't try anything funny now if you go against me. Yeah, I get it. Good, and one more thing. In a few days from now, you'll be visited by the police, I've no doubt. The coppers? Aye. They'll come asking you to take the stand in court to testify as a witness. So let's just have a wee chat about that, shall we? What is it that you might say and what it is that you won't?
after he'd gone over the trial, I piked it. Got as far away from there as I could. He had the pawnbroker's ticket in some bushes near the scene. I went to fetch it the next day. I went to fetch it when the next day was dark.
So Mr. McGilded planned it and coerced Gina into giving false testimony. I bet you're ready to string me up, eh? I lied in that big old courtroom. I told some corkers. I'm dying.
The thing is, he said he would make it so we couldn't live in the East End no more. That's what he threatened me with. What a wicked man. He knew everything what went on in the back slums. He knew what it had... This is so hard. We knew he had no one to look after us, and we all just looking out for each other and getting by together.
So you mean Mr. McGilded would have...
In a heartbeat. He could have had the lot of us chased out there if he wanted. And then where could we have gone, eh? Nowhere there. Nowhere, that's where. Oh my god, the struggle bus is real. So, I didn't have no choice.
Thank you, Gina, for telling us everything.
But, I'm for it now, eh? Go on, admit it. You must be livid.
You can make amends by doing me a simple favor. Sign the representation papers for tomorrow's trial.
Eh?
If you don't actually want me to represent you in court, you can rip it up later. But we need that paperwork or we can't investigate. The police won't let us.
Investigate what?
The scene of the incident last night. Mr. Sholmes was shot, you see.
You what? Hurley's having a big operation right now, Ginny. Is it bad? Is he gonna be alright? Sholmes is gonna be alright, right?
That's why I want to investigate for Mr. Sholmes' sake as much as anything.
Right. So what you're saying is, if I sign that bit of paper, everyone's happy. Is that it?
Something like that. Miss Sasato?
Yes, of course.
I have the representation papers here.
Fuck.
The water.
I don't need no one to stick up for me, though. No lawyer or nothing.
Yeah, she's worried. Gina's a cutie.
Poor Ginny, she seems so lonely.
Gina's representation papers have been entered into the court record. At least this should mean that we can investigate the scene at Windibanks now.
Yes, and perhaps we can come back to visit Ginny when we're done there.
Yeah, I do need to go get more water at some point. Feel like we finally cracked Gina. She's opened up to us at last. And now I have her representation papers. No one else knows just what a responsibility that is. Anyway, for now, it means Inspector Gregson can stop investigating at Windibanks. Although, something tells me he's not gonna be happy about it. To be continued. Let me get water and we're gonna go. So we are on part 4. Oh my god, my voice, I'm absolutely losing it. I want to go a little bit longer though. Ah! Be right back. I'm alive. We're gonna keep going. I got this. So 1:26 p.m. We got all day. Woo! Here we are again at the scene of the crime. Now to thrust these representation papers in Gregson's face and see what he makes of them. I miss Sholmes. I miss him. Fuck. I hope he's okay. I'm really sad. Hello again, Inspector. Do you have a minute, please? What is it now? You should go home and get some rest.
Here you are, Gregsy. Here are the representation papers.
Your ladyship. I don't believe it. How the devil did you get that stubborn little ragabash to sign that? I salute you. That is good work, that is.
I can see you've been very busy here as well. How about some tea? It's a special blend designed to relieve fatigue.
Glug, 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 glug. Well, let's see now. Ah, yes, yes. I hardly feel tired at all. I'm fit as a fiddle, your ladyship. He's fit as a fiddle. Would it be all right if we investigate the scene of the crime then? Do as you please. You know where it happened? Through that door behind the counter. Oh God, I don't want to look at the room, I think. Yes, the storeroom. That's where I discovered Mr. Windibank and Gina. And also, we have Holmes set up the camera that takes pictures every 30 minutes. I wonder if that caught anything. Although I do remember the specific time that we walked in was at 1:14, and if it takes a picture every 30 minutes, then maybe it didn't catch anything. But maybe we can see somebody walking in at like 1 a.m. or something. Who knows? I'll be getting back to business then. Will you be investigating in the storeroom as well, Inspector? I'm perfectly honest, we need to wrap this up before long. Can't afford to spend too much time on it. But there are so many articles to go through. It's taking forever, even with the lads working round the clock. Which is a problem, because there's another case the Yard needs to investigate urgently. That's what Mr. Strongheart meant by far more serious matters. So what I'm saying is, don't get under my feet, sunshine. Come then, let us not waste time. All right, time to investigate. I really want to look at the door. I really want to look at this. Look here. Oh, the bullet is still in the... Wait, the bullet is there. In the wall. Presumably, Mr. Windibank wasn't practicing with his revolver in his spare time. Ah, well... Mr. Sholmes likes to practice in his drawing room whenever he can. He's very patriotic like that. What? Sorry? It's all there in the Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, you know? Isn't that right, Iris?
Ah, did I write something like that? Partly in jest, perhaps.
In jest?
He doesn't do it often. It's quite a dangerous pastime.
He doesn't do it often? He shouldn't even do it once!
Forget that for now, Runo. Let's examine this bullet.
What's that around the bullet hole? Is it blood? A suspicious red stain on the calendar.
Aha! I may well be able to help with that.
There's nothing like the sight of blood to get the blood pumping, is there, Runo? I have a feeling I'm not as bloody-minded as you, Iris. What the fuck? I'm afraid the sight of blood makes my blood run cold.
There you have it. You see, when it comes to blood, we're all different types.
Yeah, what a scientific observation.
So you need this.
Oh no, what is that scary looking thing?
Eddie and I haven't actually come up with a name for it yet. But as soon as you see it in action, you'll see what it does. Watch.
The color of the bloodstain has changed.
Yeah, does it make sense now?
I think I'm starting to understand.
Good, it works on the principle that different people have different types of blood, you see? The chemical it fires combines with the blood and makes it change color. So you can identify whose blood it is that you're looking at in a flash.
What a fabulous invention, Iris.
Isn't it? And isn't it?
I bet Ginny would say it's bleeding great. Okay, you know what happened? I know exactly what happened in this room. I know exactly what happened. Mr. Windibank goes to the calendar at exactly midnight o'clock. And he takes it midnight o'clock, shut up. He takes his paper down and he changes the date to the 16th. That's where he gets shot in the back because he had a bullet wound in his back, right? So he gets shot from behind and the bullet just goes straight through him into the wall. And then they move the body into the room, maybe later seeing that Gina was in there and they were like, oh, it's easy to frame her, kind of, sort of. But I don't know why. Okay, if this happened at exactly midnight, we came in at 1:15 to 2 people coming in there. So that would be an hour and 15 minutes after, I suppose, after my theory, which I think is very viable, by the way. And so his body was dragged into the storeroom, which they took the key off of his pocket. That would make sense. So they like take his key, they unlock the door, they throw him in there, and then they close the door again. And then Gina comes in, does her pickpocketing thing, and sees the body later. Or maybe they were still hanging around because they were like trying to find something in this room for like a whole hour. I don't know. There's the time difference is weird because he changes the calendar at exactly midnight, he said. So there is a time discrepancy somewhere, but yeah. So we walked in at like 1:14 a.m. That's still weird. But so Gina walks in, picks it, and she's looking for probably manuscript or something or other. No, definitely the manuscript in the storage room. But they knock her out. She was unconscious at the time. So those 2 people saw this girl come in and they clonked her above the head like, and then, yeah, threw her in there and then put the gun in her hand to make it look like she did it. That's clearly what happened. All right, moving on.
I bet Ginny would say it's bleeding great.
So whose blood are we looking at then?
Well, all the chemical does is turn the blood a different color, so just find somebody whose blood turns the same color and you'll know who it belongs to in a flash.
Case closed, pack it up, exactly. We got it all. It's more like 2 flashes, really, isn't it? 1 flash or 2, this could well turn out to be a very invaluable clue. So we must make a note of it in the court record. Let's keep testing and adding the results of any other blood analysis to the portfolio. Yeah, like Mr. Windibank's blood, perhaps? Bank, Windibank.
As long as I have Regent left, sure.
This officer has been staring intently at the wall since we came in here. Keep it down. Yes, sorry. There's a major clue just here.
Really? Then we must tell Gregsy at once.
As soon as I report it, that'd be it. I'll be stuck here even longer. Stuck here? What do you mean? I haven't been home in 2 days already. I need another constable to relieve me and take over my shift. They really have a tough time, the British police.
That doesn't stop us investigating though, does it?
No, I suppose not. Melody! Thank you so much for the 3 months. I appreciate it. Fairly sure it was a calendar he was peering at. Wait, that's why there's a time discrepancy. So the two people that were found in this shop whenever we walked in at 1:15, I don't think are the same people that actually committed the murder. I just think that I think there's a lot of people after Mr. McGilded's belongings. Like we saw the Eggs Benedict guy earlier. There's a lot of people after his belongings. So if this murder happened at like midnight and they were coming in later, maybe that actually, so that, But if someone, man, this doesn't make sense. If a bullet was shot at midnight, wouldn't somebody have heard it and reported it earlier? If this happened at midnight? Oh, shit. I'm fairly sure that this contraption was here yesterday as well. Here we are, though. I'm not confident I can get it closed again.
Oh, yes, that's a folding stereoscope.
Stereoscope. Really? This is a stereoscope? Mr. Sholmes showed us a picture yesterday that you were supposed to be able to see in 3 dimensions. But for that, he used the great big contraption over there.
Ah, well, that's for use in public houses and places like that. It contains a carousel with all sorts of pictures inside. But this little thing is a much simpler design for use at home. There are special shops selling prints at...
My tongue.
that you can use in them. I have a little collection.
Collection myself. I'm seeing a pattern with where my tongue is tripping up. La la. La 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 la. La 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 la. I wonder if I can make money out of these in Japan. It would beat keeping my toilet sparkling clean anyway. Is that strange contraption that lets you see pictures of things as if they're right in front of your eyes? Makes you think, when Mr. Sholmes gleefully showed it to us yesterday, we were blissfully unaware that any of this was about to happen.
These shelves are where the pawnbroker puts articles that have been forfeited on display for customers to buy.
It's really strange miscellany, isn't it? I mean, who would buy this horse statue, for example?
Sometimes you can find some real treasures among all the junk, you know? Are you alright, Bruno?
It's just, well, it looks like a collection of useless junk as a whole, but when you pick out individual things, you can't help wishing you owned them, even that horse statue.
That's exactly how the pawnbroker works. They're very clever.
We got it. We figured out how pawnbrokers work.
That's a music box. Do you have them where you come from, Bruno?
Yes, but I've never seen one as large as this in Japan.
Oh, well, this will be a treat. Shall we have a listen? What do you think? Isn't it a pretty sound?
A pretty sound, yes, but it's a little hard to enjoy with all the policemen in the room are giving you fierce looks.
Never mind that. If any of them say anything, I'll tell Gregsy to have a word.
Iris Wilson, Superintendent of Scotland Yard. At 10 years old. Oh. fucking picture. I can't believe it's there. What the fuck? It looks as though someone has left a little photographic print behind. Look on the back, there's some writing.
Is there? Oh, show us, Susie, show us.
15th. Thank you, Ryder. A gentleman's overcoat pawned for £1. Clearly it was a fine coat. In fact, I think...
Must be the ticket for the overcoat that Ginny redeemed yesterday.
And is still wearing, which belonged to Mr. McGilded. I would never have expected the redemption ticket to be handwritten on the back of a photograph.
Seems Mr. Windibank just used whatever piece of paper he happened to have on hand.
Photograph of a cat. It looks very familiar, doesn't it? I'm sure I've seen this exact picture somewhere recently. I was forgetting that she gave us that little print. Thank you, Ryder. Again, feel free to be more brutal to chat. I haven't been able to read it a lot lately. It's been very, very bad.
These two photographs hide an amazing secret.
A secret? What does she mean? You mean to tell us, Iris, at once? You must tell us.
Do you really, really, really want to know?
Yes, we need you to tell us all you know about this pair of photographs. Tell me, Bish! So, Iris, about these two photographic prints. The one we found here on Mr. Windibank's counter and the one Gina gave us before. What is this amazing secret you mentioned that's hidden between these two identical prints?
Actually, that's not quite right. If you look carefully, the two prints aren't the same. Not exactly.
I know they're not.
Have another look at them now. Can you see that they're just slightly different from each other?
Yes. It's very subtle, though.
It's the head.
What's the reason for the subtle difference between the two prints?
Ah, well, it's because they're a set, you see?
No, I don't. Or I do, but Ryunosuke don't. Whatever.
This pair of photographs is meant to be used in a stereoscope.
Oh, everyone in London is raving about the... Oh! I wonder. But the backs. Wait a second. Why do I feel as though I've heard that word before recently? That's what Mr. Sholmes showed us yesterday. Just over there. The magical machine that makes pictures look almost real enough to touch.
It's quite possible to see the same depth in pictures, even without one of those contraptions.
What, really?
Do you know how a pair of flat photographic prints can appear to have any depth in the first place?
No, I have no idea.
Oh, wonderful. Then I'll be able to tell you.
She's over the moon, bless her. Should we let her explain, though? We really need to carry on the investigating the scene. I, for one, simply have to know. How does the stereoscope work? Go on, madam. Have you ever considered, Bruno? How our eyes see depth in the world around us? Well, I just open them and it works. But the reason it works is because we have two eyes. Two eyes, shocking. If you try closing one at a time, I think you'll see straight away. When you see with your left eye, and what you see with your right eye,
are ever so slightly different. You get a different view with each eye.
Yes, the position of objects seem to shift slightly.
Exactly. And in your head, your brain uses that shift to examine depth as it merges the two views into one. That's how we can see depth in everything we see.
My brain really is amazing, isn't it? It does so much without telling me.
I think I see.
So the pair of photographs consists of a left eye view and a right eye view.
Well done, Susie. You're so quick.
So if you can persuade your brain to merge the two pictures together in your head, you'd be able to see depth in these prints?
Yes, Bruno, you're beginning to understand.
And a stereoscope's function is to act as your brain and allow you to do just that?
Yes, but as long as you have two images, two eyes and one brain, you can actually do it yourself without needing a stereoscope at all.
You can, really? How to view them?
Let's try it. Let's see if you can view this pair of prints without the help of the stereoscope.
Oh yes, I'm dying to have a go. Susanna-san really loves this kind of thing.
You need to be able to cross your eyes. That's the main thing. Can you both do that?
Crossing my eyes? I think I can.
Watch me and see if you can copy. Make your eyes do this.
All right, let me try. Are you ready, Mr. Naruto?
There, how's that? Wonderful, now it's your turn, Bruno. The trick is to concentrate on looking at the bridge of your nose with both of your eyes at the same time.
Not exactly an easy task when two people are staring at you cross-eyed.
All right, that's enough practice. Now let's try looking at the prints.
Okay.
Start by staring at one print and slowly crossing your eyes.
I don't think it's working.
Try it now, Bruno.
I'm just gonna have to give it a try, I suppose.
Did the print split into two images for you? Now, the next step.
Oh, God.
Put the pair of prints side by side like this, and then to try crossing your eyes again.
Yes, totally. That's exactly what happened.
They form a new single image in the center.
Yeah! Mr. Naruto, it works. You can see it in the middle now. It's so real. I can look at it all day. I wouldn't advise that. Your eyes might start to hurt.
Your turn, Bruno. Pretend you're looking through the two pictures and slowly cross your eyes.
Whoa. I see one picture. Wait, ow. Hold on, hold on. Okay. All right. It worked. I saw one picture, chat. Oh yeah, one picture. But the problem is that it's fucking blurry! Keep adjusting the position of your eyes until you see images overlap exactly in the middle. Like this, is it?
There, you managed it. So now you know how stereoscopic images work.
My eyes. I don't know who discovered it, but it really is quite extraordinary.
So what do you think of these stereoscopic prints then, Bruno?
They're certainly amazing, but it isn't easy to get the knack of viewing them properly. It's a little blurry.
No, some people find it easier than others. But that's why contraptions like this exist, for people who find it tricky.
Yeah, can we use that? We saw one over there yesterday, didn't we? If I remember it correctly, you press this little knob here. Then set the pair of photographs in this stand at the back and... It's still amazing, even though I know roughly how it works now.
Well, London seems to agree with you. Stereoscopes are very popular at the moment. You can find one of these folding contraptions in lots of households in the capital currently.
But if these little machines are so affordable...
Surely!
Oh, this is still Renosuke. Surely there's no need to go around staring cross-eyed at pictures like you hate them.
But it's much more satisfying to be able to see the effect with your own eyes. Well, I think so in any case.
Stereoscopic pictures, I never even heard of them until yesterday. Certainly learned a lot about them, so I wonder if it's knowledge that I'll ever actually need. Yay, we got both of them. Wait, oh, I pressed the wrong button. Ticket Gina brought in here yesterday. Yes, having been entrusted to her by Mr. McGilded 2 months earlier. What is going on? The other redemption ticket was in the pocket of the coat. For a small box deposited 2 days before the omnibus incident. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's something rather troubling here. I have noticed. The red smear, you mean? It looks like blood, doesn't it? I wondered if Susato-san had picked up on that. In that case, we need Iris. We should show this to her before we forget. Huh. You know what my bet is? This blood on this ticket is Mr. Thrice Fire Mason's blood. And Mr. McGilded committed the murder. If this was in his pocket at the time... No, it wasn't. It was after, wasn't it? No. You know what? I'm still gonna call it. I'll still call it even if there's plot holes. Theories are good. It's Mr. Thrice. It's blood. Yeah, totally.
That looks like blood.
I would say it's from a gloved finger, almost certainly a glove made of leather. Oh, wait, did I actually get it? purple. Yes, it's not green. Look at that.
That's a color we haven't seen before, isn't it?
We simply must add it to the portfolio of blood samples. It could be an important clue. Although it would be nice to find out whose blood these different colors correspond to at some point. The green one is Mr. Windibank's. The purple one is Thrice Fired Mason's blood. This particular stain of blood.
Oh, you've had an idea, haven't you? Do you know whose blood this is?
I do. I have an idea whose blood it is. Not from the color it turned, but with a little deduction. Iris, you know as well?
You first, Runo. Who do you think it belongs to?
Oh. I believe this to be the blood of the Thrice Fired Mason.
You don't sound very sure yourself. The way you trailed off there.
It was 2 months ago now, that case, and of course I'd never met the victim, so I'm struggling to remember his name. He was definitely thrice fired, though. The victim of the omnibus case. His name was indeed Mr. Thrice Fired Mason. But that would mean that this blood stain was left on the ticket 2 months ago. I think it was. Gina brought this ticket here to Windibank's yesterday. I'm suggesting that the bloodstain was already on it at that time.
It's a smear of blood from the time that Mr. Mason was killed 2 months ago.
Something else is coming back to me now. Mr. McGilded was also wearing leather gloves that night. Now I ask you, what good-hearted soul would rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about the gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. Certainly does look like leathered gloves thumbprint, this mark. But we know that Mr. McGilded had no injuries at the time anywhere on his body. From which we can conclude that any blood on the glove belonged to the victim, Mr. Mason. Mr. Naruto, you sound just like Mr. Sholmes. Yeah! And I figured it out before the game said so. So, hello, bitch, it's me, Mr. Sholmes, at your service. Let's go. Minus the quirky slip-ups. We don't talk about it.
I think you're right, Runo.
Very well, let's make a note of this. The details of the pawnbroker's ticket for the coat have been updated in the court record. The blood samples portfolio has been updated in the court record. We haven't even touched the door yet. We haven't even gone back there. That ledger that's open on the counter there really is enormous, isn't it? It must be an awful lot of work to keep track of all these hundreds of items in pawn.
It's too much to think about. Better to sell it all and have a clear head, if you ask me.
But clearly Mr. Windibank was very careful when it came to the articles in his care. The door.
Behind that door is the storeroom, isn't it? That's what Gregsy said.
And that's where I saw that dreadful scene last night. through the little window in the door. Mr. Windibank face down on the floor with Gina beside him. As the accused legal representative, you have the right to examine the scene, Mr. Naruto. We must make a thorough investigation. Beyond that door, that's the real scene of the crime.
Don't worry, if there are clues in there, I'll find them.
Do I have to specifically move? Okay, we move. Here we go to the scene of the crime, folks. Something was stolen. Well, I wonder if the small box was stolen. Poor Iris, she's clammed up completely. Iris is bound to find this difficult. After all, Mr. Windibank's life was taken in this very room only last night. Ah! Wait, Inspector! What is it now, Sunshine? You took one look at me and tried to run away. You think a Scotland Yard inspector would run away from some jumped-up little defense lawyer, do ya? Well... I've never seen her ladyship looking like that before, is the thing. I didn't know what to say to her. So you weren't running away from me, you were running away from a 10-year-old. I'm afraid that this is all a little bit too much for young Iris. Some gentle reassurance might go a long way, perhaps, Inspector. Ahem. Don't trouble yourself unduly, your ladyship. I mean, at least you're not dead, are you? I don't think that went very well. Why? Look, I'm in the middle of an investigation here, Sunshine, and I told you not to get under my feet. And we have investigating to do ourselves. Yes. I'd like to hear more of what the socially inept inspector has to say.
Oh, Hurley.
And inquire into how Mr. Sholmes' operation is going. I do miss that bitch a lot. Maybe too much. Alright, the scene of the crime. So, Inspector, what do you make of the crime scene here? You've got eyes, don't you, user? It is what it looks like, nothing more. Nothing less. Iris, could you lend me a hand?
So, Gregsy, what do you make of the crime scene here?
Oh my god. This is so sad. Ah, yes, your ladyship, do allow me to humbly explain. Last night, at shortly after the hour of 1 o'clock in the morning, Scotland Yard police attended the scene. The one and only door to this storeroom was found locked from the inside. So it was locked from the inside. The lock appears to be broken now, though. Was that the police officers doing? Quite right, ma'am. Quite right. We took the liberty of smashing the door in, as humbly as possible. As you can see, the victim was discovered prostrate on the floor. Thuswise. And thus to the aforementioned body we discovered the vile gutter child.
Are you talking about Ginny? She's my friend, you know, Inspector.
Miss Lestrade, the hapless girl, was curled up on the floor dead to the world. She's still alive, you know. Yes, when I saw her, she appeared to be unconscious. And I'm afraid to say she had the gun that was used in her hand. Presumably, it's the gun that's still down there on the floor now. In her pocket, we found the key to the door as well. Shit. That's what I wanted to know, was where the key was. Shit. Wait. You know, I don't think that they brought up the whole thing of, making key copies. I don't think that was... You know, there's a purpose for that. I think that a second key was made. What if Gina made her own second key? She didn't take his key. What if she made her own? Okay, there could be 2 keys. I'm calling it. And you say the storeroom had been locked from the inside, Inspector? Correct. All of which leaves her ladyship's friend in something of a sticky situation, I'm afraid. Obviously, my personal opinion is that it's all sort of a misunderstanding. Of course it is, Inspector, of course it is.
Rexy, do you know anything about Hurley? Is the operation finished? Is Hurley all right, is he?
Well, the thing is...
Don't mince your words, Inspector, please. You don't mean to say that Mr. Sholmes is...
No, the operation's done and dusted. It's just that, well...
Out with it!
Yes, ma'am! They use something called a general aesthetic. It's the latest thing, renders the whole body insensitive. The whole body. Anesthetized? Whatever. Is that even possible? It means the operation can be completed while the patient is fast asleep. Goodness, in the Empire of Japan, we can just manage to provide laughing gas for a tooth extraction. Trouble is, the latest thing isn't always the greatest thing, if you follow my meaning. They couldn't get the medication to work at first, so it took hours for him to nod off, so I hear. And now that the op's finished, they can't get him to wake up. Oh, God. Oh, my. No one knows if it's the anesthetic still in his system or if the bloke's just plain exhausted. Anyway, all they can do is stand back and watch until he comes around again.
Hurley.
The moment he opens his eyes, your ladyship, I swear I shall get word to you. What a surprise. Even in matters of life and death, Mr. Sholmes has to do things his way. Welp. It is what it is. We got a lot to look at. All right, let's start looking at the wall. Look at all these articles that have been deposited. The room is stuffed full of them.
I can't believe how many there are.
A bicycle, a gramophone, musical instruments, even some enormous paintings. Look. Pieces of different people's lives, quietly gathered dust in here together. There's something very peaceful about the atmosphere in here. Or at least there would be, if not for the chalk outline on the floor and the policeman shuffling around. Not much I can do about that, sunshine. There's really nothing else to look at? Okay, I guess we get to the meaty, greedy stuff. The chest that's open. The revolver and the blood. I'm gonna go to the chest that's open. I'm very intrigued by that. I'm assuming something was stolen. Out of all the articles in this storeroom, this is the only thing that shows any sign of being ransacked. What is it, Iris? That's the books file that my manuscript was being kept in. Oh. Big yikes. Iris's unpublished story, The Hound of the Baskervilles. Surely, that's not what all this is.
Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling ya.
We must check inside the box at once.
Yes.
It was there! Iris's story was there! Really? It was? Well, that's good news, isn't it, Iris?
Yes. I mean, of course I believed Hurley when he said he deposited here, but still.
It's a relief to actually see it. Really, because that's not a very well hidden frown. Iris's manuscript has been entered into the court record. Is a revolver a real one? Quite possibly the murder weapon used to take Mr. Windibank's life.
What's the matter, Susie? You and Runo look like you're about to faint.
It's just that I've rarely seen a gun in the flesh. And I've had issues with guns in the past. But anyway, we saw Mr. Windibank with this yesterday, didn't we? It must be the same gun. And last night, when I looked through the spy hole in the door to the storeroom here, that was the same gun that I saw in Ginny's hand. Ginny. Oh my god, I'm calling her Ginny now. Gina's. Mr. Windibank told us that he only ever had a single bullet loaded in his revolver, didn't he?
Well, it's empty now. The one and only bullet he had in his gun had been fired.
So we can be fairly certain that only a single shot was fired from this revolver. And that bullet is in the wall of the calendar! This is quite the manuscript. Holy shit. Hound of the Baskervilles. How did Sasada-san know the exact title of this unpublished story? I suppose I'll just have to wait until she's ready to explain it to me. I'm so sorry. Bitch, you better be sorry. The police have marked the position of the body with a chalk line.
Poor Mr. Windibank. He was a nice old man.
He was shot just once through the heart. Most likely, the fellow died instantly. He wouldn't have felt a thing. This must be his blood then. I'd like to ask at such a wretched time, Iris, but I wonder if perhaps...
Don't worry, Susie. I'm ready for action.
No! Theory! Out the window! Gone! was really hoping that shit would be green. Come on! Let's add this sample to the others we've already collected. Fuck! We must find the true culprit! Absolutely! Who has green blood? Could this be? Fuck. Fuck. It can't be Herlock's. It was there before he got shot. Shit, man. I don't know why I'm showing him shit. I just want to see what happens. What if I showed you this? Could you give me your opinion about this? Oh my god. That really hit the spot, your ladyship. You don't mind sharing that then? What if I show him all my blood samples? Okay, so... Okay. This game really makes you want tea? Same. And actually, no, not same at all. I don't drink tea. Did we ever actually look at the representation? I understand agreeably your worship that Laura Header regarding the following is Lestrade, murder of Baker Street Podbroker. Date of trial is tomorrow at 10 a.m. and I'm the attorney-in-law. I am so angry. I wonder if they let me put these pictures in the Stereoscope, but like, oh, wait, I want to try that. I'm out of here, bye. I don't know how to make it do things. What if I just present you your own manuscript. What do you say about this?
My manuscript.
Mr. Sholmes said that he deposited it at Windibanks and he had.
But it's so strange.
What is it about this particular story? I worked so hard on it.
Why would Hurley say I can't publish it?
I'm afraid I have no idea. All you can do is wait until he's ready to tell you, I suppose.
Maybe it's because Hurley isn't in it enough.
I somehow, like, I really doubt that that's the case, but okay. Okay. He's just... okay. Makes perfect sense. What can I say? So this is the one that said 13th of February? Yeah, this is the one that said 13th, and it was 10 shillings, one small box. Okay. Because this is new evidence, I do think it'd be valuable. I think Gregson might want to see it. I'm gonna see, hopefully, this does something. What do you make of this? What have we here, then? A redemption ticket for an article deposited here, is it? Someone ran out of the office stationery and wrote the ticket on whatever paper was at hand. So this is the ticket from Mr. McGilda's overcoat, the one that little diver turned up with yesterday. Actually, no, it's not. Really? Think you know better than me, do ya? No, I didn't mean to...
Bruno's right, Greg. See, it isn't the same ticket.
Of course it wasn't. Of course it isn't. I never doubted you, your ladyship. What's all this about then, if I may be so bold as to ask?
This is a second ticket.
A second one? Seems that Mr. McGilda, in fact, had another article in storage here at Windibanks. Is that right? I think we need to discuss this further with the inspector, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, good, because he's ever so easy to talk to. Ah, here we go. This ticket was in one of the pockets of Mr. McGilda's overcoat. Eh? You mean to tell me there was more than just the music box disc, it seems. I should have insisted on the lads taking it back to the yard and examine it properly. According to the details on this ticket, Mr. McGilda deposited another article here with Mr. Windibank. I can see it written on here. Small box, was it?
Do you have any idea where it is, Greg? See, any idea at all? It's another article belonging to Mr. McGilded's. It could be a very important clue.
I suppose it could be. Please stop looking at me with those big turquoise eyes, all full of hope and expectation. It's too much pressure. I'll lose me marbles, I will. I'll go barking. This is no time for dog impressions, Inspector. Ow! That's enough sauce from you, Sunshine. There's one thing that springs to mind. According to this ticket, the redemption deadline's already passed, hasn't it? Yes. So someone could have bought it.
Ah, yes, of course. Articles are only held for 2 months.
So the small box will no longer be in here then. That's right, it's been forfeited. Which means it could be on the shelves in front of the shop where the forfeited items are offered for sale. The shelves on the front. We must search them at once. You're wasting your time. There are dozens of little boxes out there, hundreds even. We can't possibly know which one might have been McGilded's. That information's not written in the ledger.
Well, I think we should at least have a look, just in case.
Of course, your ladyship, of course! Very sensible of you, I'm sure. This is getting old. Yep.
I nearly jumped out of my skin there. How could Mr. Winterbank set such a wicked trap?
Is that really the time? I think perhaps we should pay Gina another visit soon. Oh? Her trial is tomorrow. We must establish whether or not you will be defending her. I think we should ask her one more time. She may have changed her mind.
Don't you remember, Bruno? You told her she could rip up the representation papers if she wanted to, if she wanted you to be her lawyer.
Really? Did I say that?
Yes, you did.
The deadline for submitting the paperwork is fast approaching. In that case, we had better hurry back to the prison and talk to Gina again. Alrighty. But what about Holmes? Is he okay? I want to see him. Ah, this sucks. Ah, Gina, good, you're back. The police must have finished questioning her then.
Oh, how was it, Ginny? Was it awful? Didn't bother me.
Thank you for your the papers you signed before. It meant we were able to investigate at Windibanks. Oh, right.
Don't you want to know how we got on? We've been ever so busy. What's the point in asking? Won't change what everyone's saying, that I did it.
That's not... Gina, we came to ask you for your final decision.
What decision?
About tomorrow's trial. Will you let me defend you or not? We must submit the paperwork now if you'd like Mr. Naruto to represent you.
Right, I see.
She's really lost her fight all of a sudden. But I know what that feels like. The worry is just so hard to bear. What we've uncovered.
Oh, all right then. Blimey, give it a rest with them eyes, Iris. Come on then, fill us in. Who done it?
Unfortunately, we don't know that yet.
You don't say.
We don't know yet, Gina. But Mr. Naruto and all of us know that you are innocent of this crime. And while we haven't yet managed to work out who the real culprit is, there are a number of interesting facts that we have managed to establish.
Oh yeah? Like what?
For example, the reason for you being there in the first place. I think I know why you broke into Windibanks that night. Looks like I'm gonna have to take some evidence that clearly reveals the reason and thrust it in Gina's face, or I could present it to her calmly, I suppose. Do I do it now? Oh, it's not letting me. Okay, well, I guess we present it later. We already have the representation papers and other documents that we need. All we have to do is hand them to the court clerk. That is, if you'll allow me to represent you in court tomorrow.
Nah, don't bother. Chinny, rip them up and chuck them, would ya? Them represent papers, or whatever they're called. This cell ain't fancy enough to have a bin.
What will you do in court tomorrow?
I'll be fine on me own.
I don't think you will be.
Look, it don't matter. What's gonna happen is gonna happen.
This is one stubborn pickpocket. It's not letting me present. I want to... Oh. There's no present option. I'm very confused. Do I have to do it in the... Wait, I might have to do it in the middle of this?
Oh, all right then, blimey, give it a rest with the eyes.
Okay, yeah, this is the same. Still no present option. Okay. Still not okay. Thrust it in Gina's face. Or I could present it to her calmly. Okay. No. Ah! Not letting me... Oh my god! I'm so fucking dumb. I found this in Mr. Windibank's storeroom. I'm very intelligent, guys. I'm like 5,000 fucking IQ. Yep. The manuscript of Iris's latest story. You know, the button I've been pressing this whole fucking time. I pressed it like, you know, 5 minutes ago. Yeah, that one.
Well, that's good then.
Curiously, the storeroom at Windibanks showed no sign of being ransacked for items or value or the like. With one exception, the box file that housed this manuscript. It was you, wasn't it, Gina? Who broke open the box containing the Smith's manuscript last night.
Eh?
You were determined to find out whether or not the Hound of the Baskervilles was really there. That's the real reason you broke into the storeroom last night, isn't it? Why don't you tell us what happened?
Why don't you tell us what happened, bitch?
I hate this so much. Sorry, I'm paranoid. I'm paranoid. So I keep checking my email frequently. Sorry, if you ever seen me look over here for a while, it's because of that. My vacation starts tomorrow and I'm trying to hear back from a couple reservations that haven't gotten back to me, so I've been checking.
Alright, yeah, this Baskerville story is the latest Sholmes adventure, right? But it ain't been printed yet. So I figured it's gonna be worth a fair few pieces of silver, right?
Oh yeah, at least 5,000 pounds.
What?
So you intended to sell Iris's manuscript, did you?
No, Ginny, how could you? What? Wait, no, hang on. Of course I wasn't gonna sell it. All I wanted to do was find out if the manuscript, or whatever you call it, really was there or not. That's the only reason I was in the first place.
For Iris's sake, isn't that right? That's cute. We knew why'd you done it from the start, Gina. Of course we did.
But I knew you wouldn't do anything mean like that, Ginny. I just knew it.
Well, when I saw the manuscript in the storeroom, it reminded me of what you said that night before.
Grown-ups do a lot worse than that, believe me. Barefaced liars, the lot of them. You say realize it yet? I'm telling you, that manuscript ain't at Windibanks. You'd soon see if you had a look. If I'm honest, I wondered if Hurley was telling me the truth sometimes. I mean, that I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong of me to doubt him. Oh, Ginny, that was so sweet of you.
So, we haven't, seen exactly where she was left unconscious. I wonder if, like, the box was left open because she wanted to check that the manuscript was there, first of all. And then somebody came in and, like, plunged her in the head kind of thing. If she was knocked unconscious next to the chest. Could be something like that. I don't know.
I'll tell you why I did it. Just stop looking at me like that, Iris.
Reason for breaking in?
If it weren't because of Iris, that's not why... It weren't because of Iris, that's not why I did it. I just wanted to know the truth, that's all.
She's trying to find the bad side of Mr. Sherlock Holmes, but, he ain't a liar.
You wanted to know if Mr. Sholmes was being honest, if he'd really deposited the manuscript at Windibanks. It's like I told you the night before. I never had a father. But Iris's lot ain't like mine. She got a dad, only she can't see him. And I reckon that's gotta be odder.
Oh.
That's why she writes the stories. They're all about her dad, really. That's what it sounded like to me anyway, last night when I was listening to what you were saying. Stories about Daddy?
You mean they're not the adventures of a great detective? So much as the adventures of a great detective and his trusty partner?
Well, that's how I see it, yeah. That's so thoughtful and so kind, Ginny. And we never thought any differently, did we? Look, give it a rest, will ya? I hate all this chummy nonsense. Do you hear? I hate it. I don't trust no one. That's how I work. Because if I don't trust no one can let you down. No, so leave me alone. Go on, Scarpa.
I hadn't noticed until now, but it's unmistakable right there on both sleeves of that overcoat. Are some very suspicious red stains.
Why you look at me like that?
I think it might be worth presenting some of our other findings in that area to Gina now. This was the one in her pocket? No, this was the one in her pocket. This is the one... I got them mixed up. This is the 15th? 15th. This was the one at the scene. Okay, that'd be weird, but... Oh wait, is she still wearing the black coat? She is still wearing the black coat, which was Mr. McGilden's. Okay, so yeah, that's probably it. Do you see this pawnbroker's ticket, Gina? It's the one you took to Windibanks, isn't it? The one for that black overcoat that you're wearing now?
Eh? What? That? I don't know. They all look the same to me, those tickets.
Surely not. Well, this one has a very obvious mark on it that would appear to be blood.
Eh?
Does that ring any bells?
I don't know. It all looks the same to me, blood.
And they all sound the same to me, these answers. Suspicious! These stains on the sleeves of your new coat, Gina, they're blood, aren't they? Not that I know whose blood yet.
What?
A blood, Mr. Naruto. You don't appear to have any obvious wounds yourself, though. So could it be blood that spattered from Mr. Windibank when he was shot last night?
Let's not beat around the bush here.
B, green. All right, we want green here. Green, 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 green. Please, green, not blue. Green, 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 green. Don't move, Ginny, I'm gonna shoot. Green, 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 green. Purple! Fuck. What the? Forget the sleeves. The whole coat is covered in blood. Of course. The black color of the fabric was masking the stains. That's why we haven't seen them until now. And the blood has reacted with the chemical to turn a purple color, which matches one of the samples we've already collected.
Yes, now let's see. Who had purple blood? Yes, it was the brickmaker, Mr. Mason, the victim of the murder case 2 months ago.
I knew it.
What are you all on about? The victim? What do you mean?
It's a rather uncomfortable situation, Mr. Naruto, but I think this makes things quite clear. It means the omnibus case is solved. The truth about who really murdered the brickmaker, Mr. Mason, is revealed.
Oi, would someone explain what's going on? Stop telling half a story.
That's really awkward. The man that we defended actually fucking, ooh, that's, ooh, I got the chills. We can see now that the victim's blood is all over Mr. McGilded's overcoat. But in the trial 2 months ago, the defendant said this in his testimony.
Now I ask yous, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach?
I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. But if you look at this overcoat now, it's clear. These stains couldn't have arisen from Mr. McGilded trying to pull the victim to his feet. No. If that was what had really happened, the blood wouldn't have splattered all over the front of the coat. The only explanation for this pattern of blood is that it splattered over Mr. McGilded's coat when he stabbed the victim in the stomach. I've tried to run from the truth for long enough, but there's no escaping it now. The true culprit in this case, Mr. Mason's killer, was Magnus McGilded. That horrible case is solved at last. And I helped the man walk free from that trial. I used all that twisted testimony and all that sham evidence to prove his innocence. How could I have let that happen?
Bruno, did you believe him though? Did you believe Mr. McGilded was innocent?
I believed, or rather I think I was trying to believe. I wanted to. Because believing in those you represent in court is a defense lawyer's greatest weapon.
A weapon?
When we came to Great Britain, a great friend of mine taught me a valuable lesson. Kazuma-sama. Listen, Ryunosuke. We lawyers are only human. We can't know for sure what is the truth and what is a lie. Which is why we must resort to our primary weapon. An unwavering belief in our clients. That's all we really have. Unwavering belief? Only when we truly believe what our clients tell us can we fight with everything we have for their cause. In any battle, there can be no victory without faith. So I believe you, unwaveringly. I'm gonna fucking cry, bro. I'm gonna fucking cry. What's funny, Gina?
Cool. Sounds like in the empires of Japan you come from, everyone must be soft. Well, come on. Look at the mess it's got you into, believing it all in that bog trotter.
Yes, I inadvertently helped a murderer walk free.
But at least you've learned your lesson now, eh? Believing in people's never worth it. Someone always stabs you in the back in the end. As soon as you let down your guard, you've had it. Take a leaf out of my book. Believe no one, get hurt by no one.
Gina, may I ask you something?
What?
I'd just like to make absolutely sure. What would you like us to do with these representation papers for tomorrow's trial?
How many times do I have to say it? Rip them up and chuck them away.
Are you really sure that's what you want?
I bet that's what he wants and all now. Mr. I'm a believer lawyer over there. Don't forget it was me in that trial 2 months ago. I led everyone up the garden path, didn't I? And you're telling me you can believe in me after that? Not likely.
Mr. Naruhodo, a lawyer's primary weapon is an unwavering belief in his clients. Ultimately, it comes down to whether or not I feel I can trust Gina with everything that's happened. I have to. I have to. There is no choice here. I must trust in my client. Gina, let me say it again. Please allow me to represent you in tomorrow's trial.
Are you half-baked?
Not at all. You've not once admitted to committing the crime, have you? What's more, I believe that you're telling me the truth.
Seriously, Mr. Naruhodo. Didn't you hear all of what I said before? I'm a born liar. Fibs just trip off me tongue. And I'm a diver, don't forget. I pulled the wool over your eyes 2 months ago and got you into all sorts of trouble. Why would you ever trust me now? I just don't get it.
Gina. I do understand why you choose not to put your trust in others. But I assure you, there is more to this life than you yet realize.
What you mean?
The world we live in is full of people you would do very well to trust. People who won't ever let you down.
Eh?
It's true that I'm just a student of the law and I'm certainly lacking in courtroom experience, but I can promise you this. Whatever happens, and until my very last breath, I am completely on your side.
What? What do you expect me to say to that?
She's crying. Then it's decided. I will take these papers now and carry out the necessary preparations for tomorrow's trial. It would be a shame to throw them away now after it's been penned with your name so beautifully. Do what you like. You Eastern larder. Oh, I don't know what you are. I don't get ya. Gina's taken herself off to the back of her cell. She'll never admit it, but I hope she's feeling relieved. That turned out all right in the end, I think. Whoever's hiding there, show yourself at once. Eavesdropping is the height of cowardice. Miss Asada? Somebody's there in the shadows. I can sense it. Somebody who wasn't there before. What? Blimey, you're sharp, eh? I suppose you were using one of those mystic Japanese arts like the art of stealth I've heard so much about. If anyone was being stealthy, it was you, Inspector. Gregsy! Oh dear me, I'm very, most terribly sorry, your ladyship. I don't mean to startle you. How long have you been listening in on conversation? Good grief, listening in? No. I just got word that there were some visitors who were refusing to leave, and even though it was after hours. I assure you, your ladyship, I only just arrived this very minute, not a moment earlier. That's all it is. Nothing untoward, nothing at all. After hours? Is it that late already? So then, I'll humbly excuse myself now, your ladyship. Ta-ta, toodle-doo, cheerio. All the best, bye. That's a lot of farewells and not one of them appropriate for her ladyship.
Oh, but I wanted to have a chat.
Terribly sorry, but time is pressing at the minute.
Oh, I see. That's a shame.
If I don't get this emergency at the Supreme Court dealt with sharpish, Lord Strongheart will...
Emergency?
Lord Strongheart? Nothing, forget I said anything. I'm off.
All right, Gregsy, if you have to, but let's chat soon.
Delighted, charmed, can't wait. If you please, my pleasure. That's a lot of pleasantries, and not one of them sounded sincere.
Gregsy's is so funny. He said such silly things.
Certainly entertaining to see an inspector of the police fawning to a 10-year-old girl. Anyway, I wonder what this emergency is at the Supreme Court. I must attend to the court clerk's office now before it closes. Of course. Thank you, Miss Asado. Kindly escort Eris home now, Mr. Naruto. I shall meet you there later. Okay. Lots of sus shit happening, and I don't like it. So our investigation came to an end. Susato-san went to file the necessary papers for my defense of Gina the following day. And then it hit me. I could no longer suppress the wretched feeling that had been gnawing away at my insides. Tomorrow, Susato-san would be leaving Britain and making her way back to Japan. Naruto-san, it's been a very trying day, hasn't it? I do hope that you're not exhausted. What about you, Susato-san? Today has been ever more trying for you, I'm sure. Mr. Sholmes was shot before our eyes, Gina was arrested, all on the back of the news that her father had fallen ill and that she must return to Japan at once. I hope your father recovers soon. Thank you for your kind words. I wonder why it is that so many thoughts rage in my head like a storm, and yet I seem unable to find the words to express any of them. I know exactly what you mean. Anyway, I have one final task to complete as your judicial assistant. Once that is done, I shall make preparations for my departure tomorrow. One final task. Joy-Con will probably die in about another hour. It's just 2 months since we arrived in London. But we managed to establish this office. It was finally feeling as though we were settling in. I would be lying if I said I felt no regret. I'm so sorry, Sasato-san. It's just so sudden. I don't know what to think. I've had no time to gather my thoughts. I know we've only been here a short time, but in my limited experience of the courtroom, I feel like I've learned something. What would that be? It seems to me that there are many facets to people's personalities. Facets? And like a jewel, the light plays off of them in complex patterns, illuminating their actions and their motives. But we only see a small number of the total facets, and what is illuminated is only a part of the whole story. What lies in the shadows? What do those facets we cannot see look like? Perhaps there are some parts that we'll never lay eyes on for as long as we live. That's true. Sometimes I feel as though I'm blind to so much. But I keep hoping that one day it will all become clear. That all the facets will be illuminated, and I'll finally understand everything, how everything fits together. Naruto-san. I suppose what matters is that we keep our eyes open and keep moving forward, even if the way sometimes seems dark. Whew. It's amazing to think that it's just been 2 months. You've grown so much. Sorry? I've what? Oh no, it was nothing. Unimportant. Uh-huh. Do you know what time you'll leave London in the morning? Yes, I picked up my ticket earlier. I shall be leaving here at 4 a.m. I see. Well, I'll escort you to the station. Absolutely not. Sorry? I'm sure you realize why I couldn't possibly let you do that. And you have a very important day ahead of you tomorrow. Gina's trial. Yes, I know, but every word you utter will have the potential to determine Gina's fate. You must get as much rest as possible. Even though, like me, I'm sure you will find it hard to sleep. But please, for me, do try. You mentioned one final task a moment ago. What did you mean? Oh my, I nearly forgot! Please, I want you to have this. What is that? Some huge bundle of documents? It's my notes from the case 2 months ago. The murder that was committed on the omnibus. The McGilded case. It seems to me that this case of Mr. Windibank's murder, of which Gina is accused, is very much tied up with that omnibus case, in ways that are not yet completely apparent. So I took the liberty of consolidating my writings about the case for you. With everything else she's had to think about, Sasato-san still managed to do this. And all neatly laid out for me in her beautiful handwriting. It was my pleasure. I can only hope that it will bolster your case tomorrow for Gina. Thank you so much, Sasato-san. I will do my best to use it wisely. You really are the best judicial assistant in the world. Well, that's extremely flattering. I'm sorry to say. I've been a complete failure. Sorry? I didn't quite catch what you said there. Ignore me, I was just mumbling to myself. It's getting rather late. I think you should go to bed now, Mr. Naruto-san. No, why go to bed whenever I can look at your fucking notes and spend the whole night reading them? Oh. Holy shit, there's only 2 things here? McGilded case notes. Look at this giant book, and then there's only 2 pages. Okay. Omnibus murder. Case summary. Victim found deceased on the last scheduled omnibus of the day after a stab wound to the abdomen. Mason Milverton. Male. Mason Milverton. Okay, so I don't think we had the last name before. On the east end of London, he was a brickmaker. Trial summary, defendant Magnus McGilded, Lord Barrick von Zeeks. Conviction was assured with 3 eyewitnesses. However, a surprise 4th witness's testimony resulted in an acquittal due to insufficient evidence. I think you should go to bed. No. I must finish packing up my things in my room. Susato-san, I wish you the very best of luck tomorrow. Good night. Wait, there's something I need to say. What was that? A secret technique of mine, the Susato shutdown. Shutdown? Please, I implore you. If we have to voice our goodbyes, I won't be able to hold back my tears. Susato-san. It truly had been a trying day. On our feet for hours, getting Gina to open up to us and learning the truth about that nemesis of a case. Physically and mentally, I was exhausted. And yet the idea of sleep seemed impossible. But I forced myself to close my eyes. And as a cacophony of scenes of our lives here in London played through my mind, eventually, my fatigue triumphed. And I fell into a deep sleep. You are getting sleepy. The small hours, what does that mean? The hospital! I quite understand. That is a great weight off my mind. Rest assured, I shall put everything in place, exactly as we have discussed. Thank you so much. It has been an honor and a pleasure to be acquainted with you, Mr. Sholmes. On the contrary, the pleasure has been all mine. I bid you farewell, and Godspeed. My dear madam. No! I don't like this cliffhanger. I don't like this cliffhanger. I do not like it. In fact, I fucking hate it. This cliffhanger is fucking awful. I just want to die. I think I'd rather die right now. This is the best place to stop, guys. It's been a 6.5 hour stream. Right before the trial, this is a good stopping place. We gotta leave before my vacation on that cliffhanger. Oh god, this is awful. I hate this. I hate this. I'm stopping. I'm stopping. Oh, this is awful. This is awful. I think because my voice and my tongue is so shot right now.
Fun stream, Crystal. Have a great vacation.
That is the worst cliffhanger in the world, though. I want to die. I'm looking for somebody to host right now. Oh my god. I hate this. I hate this so much. I want to die. I hope you guys had a fun stream. Don't die just before your vacation. I'm gonna spend... you know what I'm gonna do whenever I get off stream here? I am going to write down all of the materials that I need to make the vest and the coat jacket. And... I'm gonna buy all of the fabric materials that I need in Montreal while I'm there. Because that's where you buy the best fabric in the world. And yeah, so I'm gonna do that. That's how I'm gonna cope with this cliffhanger. I'm gonna cope with this cliffhanger by literally buying materials for the cosplay. Is that sad or is that sad? Oh, okay.